There comes a moment in life when you get tired of living the same story, tired of excuses, tired of waiting. And that's the moment, the real moment, when everything begins to change. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need approval to rise. All you need is a shift in your mind, in your heart, in your energy. That's the power of positivity. That's the fuel that turns pain into power and struggle into success. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start living, if you're ready to take back control of your mindset, your habits, your life, then this is your time. This is your wake-up call. Let's go. Or your mindset is the foundation of everything you experience in life. It's not just a way of thinking. It's the lens through which you see the world, the filter through which you interpret events, and the voice that shapes every decision you make. Most people underestimate just how powerful the mind really is. They go through life on autopilot, reacting instead of creating, accepting what happens instead of designing what they want. But the truth is, what you believe internally begins to manifest externally. When your thoughts are positive, intentional, and growth-driven, your reality begins to shift to match that energy. Your mindset sets the tone for your daily actions. If you wake up believing that today is going to be difficult, that you're not good enough, that success is out of reach, then you'll subconsciously act in ways that confirm those beliefs. You'll hesitate instead of act. You'll focus on problems instead of solutions. You'll see obstacles instead of opportunities. But when you consciously choose to believe in your ability to grow, to overcome, and to create something better, you activate a different part of yourself. The part that refuses to settle. There's a reason some people thrive under pressure while others fall apart. It's not just talent or luck, it's mindset. It's the ability to see challenges as fuel instead of roadblocks. It's the mental discipline to replace "I can't" with "I will find a way." When you believe you have the power to improve, to evolve, to push past what you thought was your limit, you begin to unlock a version of yourself that's been waiting to emerge. That belief doesn't come from arrogance, it comes from ownership. The decision to take control of your thoughts and your direction. The power of positivity is not some fluffy motivational idea. It's a practical tool. It's what allows you to stay calm in chaos, focused in distraction, and determined when things get hard. Life is always going to bring setbacks, losses, moments that shake you. But your mindset determines whether you break down or rise up. It's your internal narrative that decides if something is the end of the road or just a lesson that sharpens you. You can't always control what happens outside of you, but you control how you respond. And that response is driven entirely by your mindset. Positivity doesn't mean ignoring the pain. It means choosing not to be defined by it. It means refusing to let fear dictate your future. It's about recognizing that even in the middle of the storm, you still have power. Power to breathe, power to think, power to act, and most importantly, you power to believe that this moment, no matter how hard, is temporary. That belief is what keeps you moving. It's what keeps you growing. Without it, you stop. With it, you rise. Changing your mindset isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about training your brain to stay focused on what is possible, even when life feels impossible. It's about breaking the habit of negative self-talk and learning to encourage yourself, to coach yourself through difficult moments. That internal voice, the one that says, "I've got this." Even when you're scared, that voice becomes your power. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. And here's the truth, most people don't realize your mindset is not fixed. It's not something you're born with. It's a muscle. You train it every single by what you read, what you listen to, who you spend time with, and most of all, by what you allow yourself to believe. If you feed your mind with doubt, fear, and excuses, it will produce limitation. But if you feed it with discipline, gratitude, and resilience, it will produce progress. Every great transformation starts with a shift in mindset. Before anything changes on the outside, something has to change on the inside. You have to decide that your current level is not your final level, that where you are now does not reflect your true potential. You have to believe that better is possible, and then start moving like it's already on the way. Because when you think different, you act different, and when you act different, everything around you starts to change. So don't wait for life to hand you positivity. Create it. You don't wait for things to get easier before you shift your perspective. Shift your perspective, and you'll begin to find strength even in the hard times. The power of your mindset is the first step to the power of your life. Everything starts there. Train your mind, and the rest will follow. Energy is the invisible force that drives everything. It's not just physical. It's emotional, mental, and spiritual. The way you show up to your day, the attitude you bring into a room, the emotions you project, all of that is energy. And whether you realize it or not, your energy speaks before you do. It introduces you, influences your relationships, and shapes the outcomes of your efforts. The world doesn't just respond to what you say. It responds to how you feel while you're saying it. That's why mastering your energy is one of the most powerful things you can ever do. Think about a time when you were excited, confident, and focused. Everything felt possible. You spoke with clarity, moved with purpose, and handled challenges with strength. That wasn't luck. That was energy. On the other hand, think about the moments when you felt drained, discouraged, and overwhelmed. Even simple tasks felt heavy. That too was energy. So when we talk about the power of positivity, it's not just about thinking good thoughts. It's about learning how to manage, protect, and elevate your energy no matter what's happening around you. The people who succeed at the highest levels in life, business, relationships have one thing in common. They take responsibility for their energy. They understand that how they show up affects everything. So they don't wait until life is perfect to be positive. They decide to bring high energy into their day. They decide to be solution focused. They decide to be passionate, grateful, and relentless. That decision becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a force. Energy is contagious. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly influencing the people around you with your energy. Walk into a room with confidence and purpose, and people feel it. Show up with negativity and doubt, and it spreads just as fast. That's why you have to be intentional. Be mindful of what you're putting out into the world, because that energy always comes back to you. It shows up in your relationships, your career, your personal growth. Positive energy attracts opportunity. Negative energy repels it. You've probably heard the saying, you become like the 5 people you spend the most time with. But it's not just about their words or habits. It's about their energy. If you're surrounded by people who complain, who all the time, who doubt themselves, who live in fear, you will start to absorb that. But if you surround yourself with people who are driven, inspired, positive, and bold, their energy will lift you. That's why protecting your energy means protecting your circle. It means being aware of who drains you and who fuels you. But it goes deeper than that. You also have to pay attention to the things you consume. The news you watch, the music you listen to, the thoughts you repeat to yourself. All of it affects your energy. If you're constantly feeding your mind with fear, drama, and negativity, it's going to lower your vibration. It will make it harder to stay focused, harder to believe in yourself, harder to move forward. But when you start feeding your mind with powerful messages, uplifting ideas, and inspiring goals, your energy starts to rise. You begin to feel unstoppable. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger from the inside out. Energy is also deeply connected to purpose. When you know why you're doing something, when your actions are aligned with your values and your vision, your energy multiplies. You don't need motivation. Your purpose becomes the fuel. That's why it's so important to live intentionally. Don't just move through life checking boxes. Ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want to bring today? How do I want to impact the people around me? What kind of legacy do I want to leave behind? Those questions activate something powerful within you, something real. But here's the part most people ignore it. Energy needs maintenance. Just like your body needs food and water, your energy needs rest, reflection, and renewal. You can't run on empty and expect to perform at your best. That's why self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary. You need time to recharge, to reset, to reconnect with yourself. Whether it's taking a walk, meditating, journaling, working out, or simply being still, whatever helps you reconnect with your highest self, do more of that. Because when your energy is strong, your mind is clear. And when your mind is clear, you move with power. Let's be real. There will be days when your energy is low. Days when you feel off, unmotivated, or just tired of it all. That's human. But even in those moments, you have a choice. You can stay stuck, or you can shift. You can breathe, reflect, and ask yourself, what do I need right now to get back in alignment? Sometimes the answer is physical, like rest or movement. Sometimes it's emotional, like releasing anger or practicing gratitude. Whatever it is, honoring that need helps you regain your power. And that's the ultimate truth, though. Your energy is your responsibility. You don't have to be positive 100% of the time, but you do have to be aware. Aware of your thoughts, aware of your emotions, aware of the patterns that either drain you or build you. That awareness is where your power begins. Because once you become aware, you can change. You can decide to speak life instead of defeat. You can decide to show up bold instead of scared. You can decide to rise instead of retreat. So as you move forward in your journey, ask yourself daily, what energy am I bringing into this moment? Because that energy will shape your actions, and your actions will shape your life. If you want better outcomes, start with better energy. Don't wait for things to change. Change the energy you bring to the things. That shift, that discipline, that decision, that's what sets you apart. That's what turns ordinary into extraordinary. And that's the power of energy. Your daily habits are the building blocks of your future. They are not just things you do. They are who you are becoming. Every action you take on a consistent basis is a vote for the type of person you want to be. People often wait for big breakthroughs or life-changing moments to finally start living differently. But the truth is, real change doesn't happen in one giant leap. It happens in small, intentional steps repeated day after day. Your habits shape your identity, your mindset, your success, and ultimately your destiny. Think about it, every goal you've ever had, every dream you've imagined. It all comes down to whether or not your habits align with that vision. If you want to be healthier, it's not about a crash diet. It's about what you eat every day. If you want to be successful, it's not about one big win. It's about how you manage your time, how you show up, how consistently you work toward your craft. If you want to be confident, it's not about one motivational video. It's about how you talk to yourself when no one is listening. Daily habits are the proof of your intention. There's a reason why the most disciplined people seem so powerful. Because they don't let emotions dictate their actions. They don't wait to feel like doing something. They've trained themselves to follow through no matter what. That's the power of habit. It removes the need for constant motivation because it becomes automatic. When you build strong, positive habits, you create momentum. And momentum is what makes progress feel natural instead of forced. But here's the truth. Building good habits isn't easy. It requires awareness, patience, and repetition. It's about making a decision every single day to do what matters, even when it's uncomfortable. That's where growth lives. In the repetition of the uncomfortable. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you get up early instead of hitting snooze, every time you say no to what doesn't serve you, you are training your future to be stronger, smarter, and more powerful. The problem is that many people underestimate the power of small actions. They think it's just one workout, or it's just one skipped journal entry, or I'll start tomorrow. But that thinking creates a pattern, and patterns become lifestyles. What seems insignificant today becomes the reason you're stuck 5 years from now. Success is hidden in the small things, in the quiet decisions no one sees, but that shape everything you become. Your habits are your foundation. If your foundation is weak, it doesn't matter how big your goals are. They will collapse. You can have the greatest ambition, the strongest desire, but without the structure to support it, you'll burn out. That's why building positive habits isn't just about productivity. It's about sustainability. It's about creating a rhythm that allows you to keep going day after day without needing to be rescued by inspiration or forced to start over again and again. And the beautiful part, you get to choose. You are in control of your habits. You don't have to be stuck in cycles that no longer serve you. You don't have to keep repeating behaviors that hold you back. You can break patterns. You can replace them. You can rewrite your routine. It starts with one decision, one new choice, one simple change repeated until it becomes part of who you are. Start small. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Read a few pages of a book that challenges you. Write your goals down every morning. Meditate, move your body, drink water, speak kindly to yourself. These may seem like minor actions, but stacked together, day after day, they create unstoppable momentum. And when life gets chaotic, because it always does, these habits will be your anchor. They'll keep you grounded, focused, and moving forward. Another truth about habits is this: they reveal what you truly value. If you say you want growth, but you're not studying, not practicing, not showing up, then there's a disconnect between your desire and your discipline. Your actions must reflect your ambition. Otherwise, your dreams stay dreams. Real transformation only happens when your behavior starts to match your beliefs. So many people look at high performers and think they're just gifted or they're lucky. But what they're not seeing is the years of consistent work behind the scenes. The early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices, the boring days when it didn't feel glamorous, but they showed up anyway. That's what habits are. The unseen grind that leads to visible success. The greatness you admire is built in silence long before it's ever seen in public. The habits you commit to today will either elevate your future or sabotage it. There's no neutral. Every day, you're either getting better or you're staying stuck. There's power in that realization because it means you are the one in control, not your past, not your circumstances, not your feelings, you. So if you want to change your life, don't just set big goals. Build small habits. Don't just visualize the future. Work toward it with consistent action. Don't just wait for motivation. Create a routine that moves you even on the hard days. Because motivation will fade, but habits will carry you. And once you start showing up daily, consistently, relentlessly, life will start showing up for you too. In the end, success is not one moment. It's not one big break. It's the sum of your daily decisions. What you do repeatedly becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes who you are. That's the power of habit. That's the power of your daily rhythm. And that's the key to building a life that reflects your highest potential. You are not your past. Let that sink in. No matter what mistakes you've made, what failures you've endured, or what pain you've carried, your past is not a life sentence. It's a chapter, not the whole story. Too many people allow who they were to define who they are, and worse, to limit who they can become. But the truth is, your power lies in the present, in the choices you make today, not the regrets you hold from yesterday. Your past may have shaped your mindset. It may have influenced your habits, your fears, your beliefs. But the beautiful part of life is that nothing is permanent unless you choose to make it so. Every single day you wake up is a chance to rewrite the script, a chance to turn the page, a chance to declare, that was then, this is now. Growth starts when you stop identifying with your wounds and start identifying with your potential. Many people live in self-imposed prisons built from past experiences. Maybe someone betrayed you. Maybe you failed when it mattered most. Maybe you grew up in an environment where you were constantly told you weren't enough. Over time, those experiences form a narrative, a story you start to believe is truth. I'll never be good enough. I always mess things up. I'm not the kind of person who succeeds. But these aren't facts. They're just old scripts, and they only continue to define you if you keep rehearsing them. The problem is when you replay the past, you relive the pain. And when you live in the pain, it becomes part of your identity. That's why healing and growth are not just about moving forward. They're about releasing what no longer serves you. You have to choose to let go of the need to carry your story like a badge of shame. Your story doesn't have to be your excuse. It can be your evidence. Evidence that you survived, that you endured, that you made it through. And if you made it through that, you can rise into something far greater. Reinvention is possible. But it begins with belief. You have to believe you are worthy of more. You have to believe that your future is not dictated by your past failures, but by your present effort. You are not broken. You are becoming. Every scar you carry tells a story of resilience. Every setback prepared you for a comeback. What felt like the end was actually a setup for your next chapter. If you choose to see it that way, the world may try to remind you of your past. People may judge you by who you used to be, but what they think is irrelevant. What matters most is how you see yourself. If you continue to view yourself through the lens of your lowest moments, you will never rise to your highest potential. But if you shift that lens, if you begin to see your pain as purpose, your mistakes as lessons, your history as training, then you can step into your future with power. Releasing the past doesn't mean forgetting it. It means forgiving yourself for the version of you that didn't know better. It means having compassion for the choices you made while you were hurting, lost, or just trying to survive. It means recognizing that growth doesn't come from perfection. It comes from awareness. The moment you become aware that you've outgrown your past patterns is the moment you begin to transform. No one is stuck unless they choose to be. You are never too late, never too old, never too far gone to change. People start new lives in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. People heal from trauma that haunted them for decades. People break free from toxic cycles and rebuild their identities from the ground up. And they don't do it by magic. They do it by deciding that their past will be a foundation, not a cage. There's incredible power in saying, I used to be like that, but I'm not anymore. It means you've evolved. It means you've done the work. It means you're not ashamed of where you started because you know where you're headed. You stop looking back not because it didn't matter, but because you're finally ready to go forward. Yes, the past may still hurt. Yes, the memories may still echo, but you are not obligated to carry it all with you. You can choose what stays and what goes. Keep the lessons, keep the strength, keep the growth. Leave the guilt, the shame, the self-hate. Those emotions are heavy, and they were never meant to travel with you forever. Let them go. Your future doesn't care about who you used to be. It's waiting for who you're becoming, and who you're becoming is strong, focused, brave,
driven,
whole. You don't need to be perfect to move forward. You just need to be willing to try again, willing to believe again, willing to show up every day and create something new.